guys, this is Kamaguno, and today I'm doing a review for Avengers Infinity War. So, sorry I did not post a review last night. I actually did get to see it last night, but it was late, so was gonna post a review at like 3 in the morning, so I decided to post a review in the afternoon. But of course, with my movie reviews, I do a non-spoiler portion and a spoiler portion. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you could, get my thoughts, but also we can go in-depthly into this film. So, what did I think of the film overall? What did I think? Now, first of all, I haven't loved an Avengers movie in a while, probably since Avengers. Avengers was the first time we had all these heroes come together. It was something special. Age of Ultron, a little underwhelmed. Civil War was fun, but nothing too, like, oh my god, that just happened. But Infinity War, on the other hand, had some really great moments, and I really feel like it understood how to divide so many of these characters, and I think that's what they did a really good job at, is having a story with Thor, and having a story with Captain America, and making it all feel like one, even though they had to separate a lot of people. And I really like the pairings they ended up doing, the chemistry, but most importantly, and I'll go into this more with the spoilers, there's an actual emotional layer here. We get to see a lot of emotions, and this brings more character development to these characters that maybe hadn't had so much development in the previous film. So I was very happy to see that, and that really is what made me enjoy the film more, and what really made me feel like this is a better Avengers film compared to the past ones. Like Avengers 1, it's a fun popcorn flick. There's not a lot of emotions. It's just like, oh, let's get the cube, let's work together and save New York City. It's very much a popcorn flick. But here I think it really levels up in a lot of ways where it's more than that. It really balances the comedy and the darkness of the tone here. And also the aesthetic felt very Star Wars to me, because they're going to a lot of different places, and they had to have like the crawl on the bottom. So that was kind of interesting to see. And also the ending's really good. So that's something I wanted. I wanted to be surprised. I wanted a moment where I'm like, oh, okay, I can't wait to see the next movie. And there's a moment where you literally like, oh my god, I can't wait to see the next movie. And it really achieved that. So for me overall, I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. The pacing could have been a little bit better. It's a very long movie, and I think in a second and third viewing you'll notice that even more, that it's a very long movie. But overall I had a really good time with it, and I think it really improved the Avengers franchise, which is exactly what Infinity War needed to do, and also made Thanos a good villain. Thanos at first, we're all so excited. One of my favorite ending credits was seeing Thanos on the chair. I believe that was after Avengers, and now's really the one and only ending credit where I'm like, oh my god, that was such a big surprise. The other ones are like either fun or you kind of saw it coming. Even the ending credit for this one, you're like, you kind of see it coming, but I really like the ending credit for this one as well. But yeah, the Thanos one, you're like, oh my god, they just introduced Thanos into the world. And ever since then, people, and me included, were disappointed with Thanos in Guardians, where he's just sitting on the chair. You're like, alright, let's see a little bit more Thanos. And here, he really ups to be the best Marvel villain. And next to, for me at least, what's his name, from Black Panther, the villain from Black Panther, and also Vulture, who I really liked in Spider-Man. Those are my top 3, and Thanos is finally up there, and he's well-deserved to be up there because of how much development we really get to see here, and how menacing he is. And you kind of, the best villains are villains who think they're right and think they're good. And with Thanos, you kind of see that. He's not the mustache-twirling villain. He really thinks he's doing the right thing, and that's what really pushed me to enjoy Thanos a lot here. Now, moving on to the spoilers portion here. So, of course, let's start talking about the ending. So, with the ending, we get to see our heroes, half our heroes, disappear. And wow, what's so cool about it? Well, first of all, I heard a lot of people crying. That surprised me, because they're not gone. Don't worry. They'll be back. They're not all dead. But what I really liked about it was, in my mind, I guess the critic side of me and the writer side of me, I'm like, what are they going to do with all these franchises now that they're all gone and they have to wait for the next Avengers movie to kind of figure this all out? But I think the only two movies that are coming out in between there is Captain Marvel, which makes a lot of sense, which we got a little tease of Captain Marvel in the ending credit, which I really enjoyed. And once I saw Nick Fury, I was like, alright, it's going to be a Captain Marvel thing, but what is it going to be? And then you see the beeper, I'm like, it's going to be Captain Marvel, they're going to say her name or something, and you see the symbol. And then you also have Ant-Man, who wasn't in this movie at all, so they're probably just going to skip this whole entire storyline with him and just focus on, you know, the funness of his character. So it's post-Civil War with that film. So those are only two films I believe are coming out, and then Avengers 4. It's supposedly Cassie Lang's going to be in Avengers 4, and I'm really excited about that. And we'll see how she ends up becoming older. But yeah, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with these franchises now, and what's going to become of the Marvel Universe. And Captain Marvel especially, I think, is going to be an important film, connecting to the next Avengers movie, which I'm happy about, to see our first female-led Marvel movie to have such importance. So, yeah, I really like that, because I didn't expect it. And going into these Marvel movies, you know, it's rare that I'm surprised. And a lot of times you hear, like, which characters are going to appear. And again, we hadn't had that moment, like, the Thanos reveal in a long time. And here, that kind of felt like that moment where you're like, oh my god, I didn't expect this to happen. So I really like that ending and what it means for the MCU and how different it is. Now, the characters I do believe that are officially dead are Loki and Gamora. Am I missing anyone else? Those are the two big ones. And Vision. Vision, I believe, is dead. I think they did a really good goodbye with Scarlet Witch. And I really have to say, I think Scarlet Witch is getting up there to being the most developed female character, even though I always still say Pepper is, and I still kind of believe that. And I love seeing Pepper in this movie as much as we could. I enjoyed that. But yeah, I think Scarlet Witch is definitely getting a lot more development, and it made Vision's death a little bit more punchier, because you really got to see their chemistry and the love for each other. Gamora, loved her. You know, this is another character I felt like that wasn't really developed in the original Guardians movie, even Guardians 2. I felt like she was just a love interest, and here, yeah, she's somewhat of a love interest and gives some angst to Star-Lord, but you really do get to see her as a character with her relationship with Thanos. And I love that moment where Thanos actually does love Gamora, and you see that. I really enjoyed Gamora's death here. I thought, yeah, it does push the motives of Thanos, but in a lot of ways it made both the characters more developed and more of characters in this movie, not just the girl who knows how to fight and the girl who falls in love with Star-Lord. She becomes a little bit more than that. And I liked how she reacts to Thanos and saying, oh, well, you love nobody, and then you realize that he does care for her for some reason. That's not as explained of why compared to Nebula, like why he cares for Gamora so much. I kind of wish that was explained more, but I did like that scene. And then Loki I thought was a great opener. That's how you open up a movie. You're like, already a death. And it gives even more motivation for what Thor does in this film, and I love the dynamic between the Guardians and Thor. I really like Doctor Strange and Iron Man. It made me like Doctor Strange more. I like their chemistry. Peter being in the mix of all that, when he disappeared, man, my heart. I was like, the acting with Tom Holland, you know, him talking to Tony was so good. There's just so many great moments, and it's such a long movie. But there's so many great moments in this film, and I mean, those are definitely the big points in this movie. I thought all the deaths were good, and yeah, I can't think of anything else I really want to touch upon. But definitely go check out our Media Madness on next Friday, I believe. We will have Media Madness on Comic Frontline, where we'll really get to delve into even more character stuff, so, and more plot things for the film, so definitely go check that out, and that'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern Time Friday on Comic Frontline. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, I gave this movie 4.5 stars. It really surprised me, and I think it hit a lot of notes it needed to hit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links to my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.